Folks, welcome to the Thursday special meeting, May 25th, 2023. It is now 6:16 of the Town of Woodbridge Board of Police Commissioners and Traffic Authority. Thank you all for meeting. I know we just met a few days ago. After the last meeting, I was thinking, as I was walking out, I was thinking about comments that the chief and deputy chief had made to us as a commission in a public forum. And one of my fellow commissioners, not sure if he wished to be identified, made a comment to me that I thought made sense. And that's why I asked for this meeting to be held. It's a little bit concerning that we don't have enough manpower. And I think that I'd like us to consider removing the SROs, at least for now, and putting them on the right after the school year. I don't know what dates that's effective for Amity and Beecher, but the MOU, which is a contract that the town has, or the board, the police commission, the police department has with the both Beecher and Amity. There's a section that provides for us to utilize a transfer of manpower if operational needs exist and exigent circumstances, and I think this certainly qualifies for that based on the chief and deputy chief mentioned last time. So I know the first item on our agenda are public comments or correspondence. Janice, is there anyone from the public that wish to be heard?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'd like to acknowledge the presence of a number of members of our department. I'm glad to see that they joined the meeting. So the only item on our agenda is the SRO summary assignment. I would open it up to discussion. Any thoughts any of the commissioners have?
I could speak, Rob. I think that this idea is very appropriate. I found it very concerning. I thought that the chief and deputy chief's factual advisory to the commission at the last meeting about the state of manpower and its impacts was both factually rich and highly compelling. After that, not having raised the question then, anything that we should be thinking how to address this. But I think this suggestion is very well taken, and I support it. The one thing I would suggest is that the schools also have security issues of which we're all aware, that we would, if we do go forward with this proposal, we promptly and effectively notify the school officially for that person so that they can take the action they need to do. My understanding from following some other town affairs is that there's a good surplus this year in the school budget, and they could be willing to provide whatever alternate available.
Hank, for what and I don't know whether it's just me or whether you were fading in and out, so I didn't catch everything you said, though I do feel like I got the gist of it, but you may, if everyone's hearing the same thing, then maybe you may need to just adjust how the speaker is set up.
I'm also having trouble hearing Andy.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Well, that's because I wasn't talking.
Yeah, there was some background noise coming in from, if there's another device on somewhere.
Well, I agree with Hank. I think Hank is, and I think that under the circumstances, I don't really feel we have a choice. And I think we do have a choice, and our choice is to protect the community. That's our responsibility. And I think that we have to do everything we can do to protect the townspeople and our children. And I think that since they can hire armed security guards, and they have them at Amity, there's no reason why they can't have one at Beecher. And we can put 2 officers back on active duty for the department.
If I could just add a couple of points to that. I know we referenced the dates regarding that. So the Amity High School, their graduation is slated for June 9th. So that'll be coming up. And traditionally, the SRO comes back right after that anyway. So that'll be happening as a standard practice and as part of the ongoing MOU with the Amity for that region. And as far as Beecher Road School goes their graduation, and the last day of the official full enrollment school year is June 14th. You know, I have to say, due to the exigency of our current staffing shortage and an effort to get more boots on the ground to assist us in addressing the associated issues that are being raised and continue to come up because we're having to run minimum manpower. I agree with the recommendation that we reassign our school resource officer at Beecher on a temporary basis for the summer months. Put him back in patrol during that time. I just want to let you know, I did run it by the finance director because as you know, the Woodbridge Board of Ed owns that one position fully for the entire year. The finance director said that we would have to reimburse the Woodbridge Board of Ed for the days that he is not at the school. And I also gave Superintendent Tenza and also a bunch of heads up that we were going to be having this discussion and recommendations for us. So they're aware of one meeting this evening as well. So I just wanted to share that with the board.
I would imagine that we'll obviously have to revisit this when the school year comes around and see where we stand. At that point, we have active openings that we're trying to recruit, trying to hire other officers. So we'll see where we are in the end of August.
But it doesn't seem likely that we'd have somebody ready to go before the end of school. So I think we may have to think about longer term planning before the beginning.
I think I don't think that decision has to be made now. We can sort of wait and see when it gets closer to the school year. I mean, we may be in the same situation where we have no applicants. So
Right.
It's hard to say.
So,
So-
Chief, I did hear Chief say he spoke with the Woodbridge Board of Ed the superintendent. And I'm sorry, did you say anything about Amity? If you did, I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, so Amity, the way the MOU with the Amity district reads, he's the school resource officer every year ends his role over there after graduation, and he
Okay.
patrol for the remainder of June, July, and August until school starts again. So that's already in place. So that's really not an issue. The one at Beecher, he's funded and usually there for the full 12 months. So that would be what the change we'd be making would be.
I know when this issue has been broached in the past, there's been a pretty significant outcry from the parents primarily from Beecher Road School as relates to pulling the SRO. What was the reaction, was there any feedback given as to what we could expect as far as that's concerned?
Yeah,
Or how much of that we should be considering?
Yeah, when I spoke with the superintendent at Beecher for Woodbridge, Vonda, she understood our predicament that we're in, and she was receptive to it. She was thankful that I assured her that we would have him remain there until school got out on the 4th. And she was very appreciative of that. She was not totally pleased that he wouldn't be there for the summer, which is understandably so, but she was she understood the situation we're in and the need for that. And
But does she also understand that come with the new year, they need to prepare to hire they need to hire security for the school?
I'm sure she has that in mind, or at least thinking about it, because she did ask if that was going to extend beyond the summer, the reassignment. And I said, at this point, I wasn't sure we're going to address just the summer right now, and guess we'll have to see, the chairman said, where we're at and coming up. But filling these positions, like I said last week, and what's being experienced, locally and statewide and nationally, filling the position is a little bit difficult right now.
Is there someone willing to make a motion to reassign the SROs for the summer back to patrol?
No moved.
I'll second it.
Second,
Go ahead.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion before we vote?
I only,
Any other, go on, Andy, go on, Andy.
I would think that, you know, Amity has hired security guards on their payroll. I think that maybe what we should be able to do for Beecher is maybe provide them with some information on where they can find, you know, where they can go to find good armed security guards and help them, at least give them some help in that direction.
I also think maybe not for this particular meeting, but we should start to formulate a plan for return to school.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you there.
Makes sense.
You know, if it's our plan to have, if it's the motion we're making is, you know, to have these officers come back, not only for the summer, but to really to have these officers come back on a permanent basis. I think that's true. We have to plan for the fall. And then we have to let them know that for the fall that they have to make plans that have security in place to replace, you know, the officers coming back on the department. Because I don't think our staffing level is going to change in terms of availability of people between now and the end of summer.
It might, but I don't think we can count on that.
I don't want to go to bank on it. Right, I agree with you.
It likely won't, but in the sake of fair notice to the public, you know, we noticed this meeting for the summer SRO, we can't
Right.
address beyond that. So we should plan on discussing this at the June meeting.
Yes.
And at least it'll
Right.
give some of the interested folks in the different departments time to kind of, you know, make their pitch to us. I didn't think it was fair to do that all at once.
Okay.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say, not at this meeting, but we should definitely discuss it soon.
The motion is specifically to address the shortage, the force shortage that we have currently in the police department, to utilize the SRO resources for the summer.
Correct. And there is a second. I have to do the roll call because we're on Zoom. Janice kindly reminded me, which I forgot. So if you could acknowledge your vote, I'll just run through the commission. Commissioner Esposito,
Yes.
Commissioner Capel,
Yes.
Dr. Desir,
Yes,
Commissioner Cardozo.
Yes.
Okay, that carries unanimously. Thank you all for agreeing to do this at very short notice. I think that's the only thing else on our agenda aside from a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Before we do, Chief, I just, I'm sorry, before we do, Chairman, I just wanted to ask the Chief, I know you went through our meeting last time, the situation that that the police department is as relates to overall workforce. If we could just have some documentation of that. I don't think the folks who are going to be impacted by this are necessarily aware of what you outlined, what you and Deputy Chief Ron outlined before. So I think it would be helpful if we had that information readily available for our next meeting so that it can be discussed and we can, you know, obviously indicate why we're taking this particular action.
Okay, we'll have it for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I know it's silly, but we still have to do the roll call. Commissioner Esposito,
Yes.
Commissioner Capel,
Yes.
Dr. Desir,
yes.
Commissioner Cardozo.
Yes.
Thank you all. That motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Okay, have a nice-